Welcome to the Wolfden Wrestling Podcast, episode number 18. We're going to get right into it with our rumor roundup. Lita is supposed to be returning to WWE for the women's tournament. She's more likely going to be a commentator for that, which I think is awesome. I think that they deserve to have a women's commentating person because of it being a women's tournament. So that's what I think, but I think it's good for Lita to come back, and I can't wait to see her come back. WWE not impressed or interested in Broken Hardy gimmick, which is kind of sad news for a lot of the fans because of the whole thing with Matt Hardy, but I've also heard that they are interested, but TNA has told them no, but that's what I'm hearing. Either way, it's still kind of sad because Matt Hardy is now going to be pretty much known for that Broken Hardy gimmick and not really be able to use it. Number 3, between now and WrestleMania 34, Brock is to have matches with all 5 of the competitors in the upcoming Fatal 5-Way, which means that Bray Wyatt, Finn Balor, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Samoa Joe will all be fighting Brock Lesnar anywhere from now till WrestleMania, which is still some good information. There are a lot of good guys and would make a lot of great matches with Brock. And it obviously means Brock's going to be fighting more often, but I still think that more likely WWE is going to have Roman Reigns walk away with the win of the Fatal 5-Way, which it's kind of common, but I really don't think Reigns deserves to have the championship match. I think Finn does because he never really lost the title. Anyways, that's for another video. Let's get back to this. Number 4, Adam Cole not signing with the WWE. However, there's been some back and forth with this one. I've heard one minute he is, one minute he isn't, one minute he's coming soon, one minute he ain't coming at all. So it's still up in the air. But me personally, I would love to see Adam Cole come to NXT or even WWE at some point. Number 5, Rusev could be the 7th man in the upcoming Money in the Bank. It's not unheard of for WWE to add people last minute. And it's obviously not unheard of for them to have a 7th man in the Money in the Bank because they did it before. But Rusev coming back and winning, being put in the Money in the Bank, fine by me. I think that it was going to happen sooner or later anyways. Number 6, Hideo Itami turning heel or bad. This could be good for his career, honestly. It's going to be interesting to see how he works as a bad guy or a heel. So, who knows? But I think it's going to be good. Number 7, women's Money in the Bank possibly happen. This is the match that I've been wanting for a couple years now, and a lot of my family members have been wanting for a couple years now. If it does happen, it's going to be great, and I think it should happen because of the importance for women wrestling now is higher than it used to be. And I think that if WWE would decide to have a women's Money in the Bank, they could just do it like they do with the main title. Just have the women cash in whenever they want to and win the title or lose. Number 8, Scottish wrestler Viper to be in the women's tournament. Now, I have heard of her, and I have watched a few of her matches on YouTube, but I have not actually sat and watched her wrestle. So I've watched her, but it wasn't really much here and there. So I don't really know much about her style in the ring, but I have heard she's a phenomenal athlete, and I can't wait to see her in the women's tournament should she be in it. And the last piece of rumor roundup I have for you today is WWE plans for Rusev has changed, so that's why he was out on SmackDown Live. So I guess the original plan was to bring him back to get a match against Jinder Mahal, but I guess that might have changed. So that's why they took him out. I don't know exactly why they took him off of SmackDown Live a few weeks ago, but he wasn't there, and a lot of fans have been asking why. Let's move on to our news portion of this video. There's not very much news for this video, but there's still some news. Number one, Mae Young Classic will be the name of the upcoming women's tournament. So it will be called the Mae Young Classic in honor of the late great Mae Young. I think this is great. I mean, honoring someone like Mae Young in some type of way is always kind of great, and honoring a legend in some type of way is always great, kind of like they did with the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Number two, Maria Kanellis and Mike Bennett still talking with the WWE about signing and joining the SmackDown Live brand. Me personally, I would love to see them join either brand, whether it's Raw or SmackDown, or even NXT, but I think it's great. I mean, I honestly think that these two people in particular are fantastic athletes. Mike Bennett himself is a former Impact Wrestling champion, so you know he can win, and you know he's a great athlete. And Maria, you all know her. She was in WWE before, so I think she's going to be great, and I think this should WWE actually sign them, they would be great. Number three, Scott Steiner returned to TNA television. As you all know by now, Scott Steiner will be teaming up with Josh Matthews against the team of Jeremy Borash and Joseph Park, aka Abyss, in the upcoming TNA Slammiversary pay-per-view. Now, Scott Steiner is signed to the company, so you're going to see a lot more of him. I think it looked great. I think he looked awesome. Again, that's my opinion, but I honestly think that more likely they're going to have Josh win, which I'm actually kind of going for Joseph Parkinette, but I think that Josh and Scott Steiner have this in the bag. Number four, David Otunga returning to WWE in the coming weeks. David Otunga was out filming a movie, so that's why he hasn't been appearing on WWE television, so it's going to be interesting to see when he comes back what he brings back to the commentating table with him. Now let's get into our trivia question from last week. The question was, only 3 women entered the Royal Rumble. Who were they? And the answer is Karma, Beth Phoenix, and Chyna, which were all fantastic women competitors, and I honestly think that they could have had the chance to win it, and I think if WWE should have a women competitor step into the ring and possibly even win it, or even have their own Royal Rumble for the women. Okay, moving on to our Spotlight Wrestlers and grades for the last week's shows. Monday Night Raw, the Spotlight Wrestler went to Finn Balor, who was in a kind of a confrontation with Paul Heyman, and he also took on Carl Anderson and won. And altogether, I gave Raw a grade of a B, which is still good, but I think it could have been a little bit better. SmackDown Live went to Sami Zayn, who beat Baron Corbin once again, and then was attacked by Baron Corbin afterwards. And I also gave SmackDown a B because it was a great show, but it could have been a little bit better in my opinion. 205 goes to Akira Tozawa, who beat Brian Kendrick, and I actually gave that an A. I honestly think that match, and all the other matches on 205 were quite interesting and quite intriguing to me. NXT, actually, I was a toss-up of who to choose for the last NXT episode. So I gave it to the Velveteen Dream and Drew Galloway, who the Velveteen Dream debuted officially on NXT and won. And Drew Galloway took on Wesley Blake and won. And what were two both amazing matches. And which I gave NXT a B. It could have been a little bit better again, but it was awesome. And Impact Wrestling goes to Scott Steiner, who obviously I kind of talked about already. But Scott Steiner joined Josh Matthews and Scott Steiner will be taking on Joseph Park, aka Abyss, and Joseph Park's tag team partner, Jeremy Borash, at the upcoming Slammiversary pay-per-view. And which I gave Impact Wrestling an A. It was an all-around great show. And I can't wait to see you next week. The new trivia question that will be answered in episode number 19 is, which of these 4 competitors from the WWE were in WCW? Now, this will be going by ABCD rules. So I will name who they are, and if you guys want to join along and answer the trivia question in the comment section, you can. Anyways, with that said, here we go. Letter A is Roman Reigns. Letter B, AJ Styles. Letter C, Ty Dillinger. And letter D is Neville. Which one of these 4 competitors was in WCW? Was it Neville, Roman Reigns, Ty Dillinger, or AJ Styles? You guys will get your answer in the next Wolfden Wrestling Podcast, episode number 19. Have a great day, and peace.